Let's do the infighting. Alright, so some people have probably seen this before. Now let's go to the funny Hundun level. So we gotta wait a second for Hundun to decide that he's done doing Hundun things, but I'm going to explain the Hundun infighting glitch for anyone who is curious about that, because I looked into that kind of recently and a lot of people didn't know this. So we got our God mode turned on, the usual. There's a water park, so if I'm sorry, Chad, if you can't hear me, there's a water park. It is what it is. I wonder if I could delete the water now. Hold on. Can the Finder kill entities that match the query? I don't actually know. That's... There we go. Okay. Let me destroy liquid water. I don't want to get rid of any logical entities. There we go. Okay, no more water park. Is the Earth really flat? Believe it or not, it's hollow. It's not flat, but it is hollow. So, like, those conspiracy theorists were partially correct. Why is that? Why is the camera... Oh, no. Did they fucking add a keybind that uses numpad? Hold on. No, that's not okay at all. Hold on. So, let's see. That's 4. By the way, Overlunky's amazing with just how much stuff is in it. If you just look at this, I don't see it. I don't know why the camera is panning. No, well, if it happens again, I'll pay a little more attention to what was causing it, I think. Yeah, I don't know what's causing that. I can whip. Yeah, it's fine. I have no idea what was triggering that. Yeah, the pesky flat earthers and hating vaccines and minorities. It's weird how all those things go together. Alright, Hundun is at the top of the arena, so I want the chicken head to not be poisoned because that's going to mess this up. So frame advance turned on. Let's see, I think it's just poison timer, I think. I hope it's poison timer. That's not how you spell poison at all. That is not. Alright, let's get the docks up. Poison. Change poison timer. Okay, I mean, that doesn't help me. How do I get rid of it? Poison tick timer. How stupid of me. Alright, poison tick timer. There we go. Okay, poison cured. You have one question, but what are the odds for each character to be selected when you select random? They don't seem even. I would be astonished if they're not even, but then again, you never know with this game. As for testing that, I don't have a good way to automate that testing, I think. I'm not sure if there's a way to detect that with the Overlunky API right now. So I'm not sure, I guess. I haven't gotten the impression that it's not random, but I so rarely ever pick random that I'm not really sure. I could be completely wrong. Alright, so anyways, this is a good opportunity to show some things off. First of all, I made the font in Overlunky a little bigger, so hopefully it's easier for chat to see that. I don't want to make it much bigger than this because I'll be running out of screen real estate with how much crap I'm about to show. But anyways, the AI range viewer. This is a mod that I've been working on for an eternity now that I need to polish up and release at some point. I've buffed it up since the last time that we've seen it. You think release is less likely? Yeah, again, I can't really confirm. But we have a lot of options to choose from with this mod now. So what I'm going to do here is go show... A few of these are selected already. Let me just uncheck them all and then show the Hundun ranges. So you're going to learn all about Hundun's AI in a second here. Let's save those options. Right, let's see if that updates. There we go. Okay. Do any non-music audios change when the entity they're playing from are cursed or poison? I don't know. I mean, poison and curse both emit a sound, but I don't think they change any other audio other than you get the 1 health music if you're cursed. But that's not because you're cursed. It's because you have 1 health. Alright, so Hundun AI, when he's at the top of the arena. Actually, hold on. This music's a jam. We'll come back to this. I have a different soundtrack that I'm going to play for science. So give me a second here. This is way too intense for what we're doing right now. Now, if I could just learn how to type. Yeah, this will work. Shuffle. There we go. Okay. So, slower paced science music for I don't know, for the smart person. I don't know what to call this kind of music. Anyways, the Hundun infighting glitch. Anyone who doesn't know what this is, the Hundun heads can attack each other now. This got introduced very recently because the devs, instead of fixing bugs, just introduced new ones in every update. And the Hundun heads are kind of janky now. So if I go select their entities real quick and set them to high health so that they don't die, we could see them fight each other, and we could see exactly why they fight each other and how it can sometimes not work as intended. So the snakehead should be a higher ID. It's 15188. I think? No, 118. There it is. Alright, snakehead. Stats, set it to max health so it doesn't die. For some reason, every time a sound is played, the cursed and poisoned properties of the sound are set based on the entity's state. I wonder if they maybe had something in mind and never went through with it, or if that has something to do with the music itself and it carried over into other sound effects. It's tough to say. So anyways, I've got the head set to be invincible now. I'm going to give myself no gravity so that I can float around. And let's have a look at the infighting glitch. So what this glitch is when you attack if you attack, let's see, the snakehead, I believe, and then the chicken head retaliates. So I'm doing this one frame at a time. Normally it would shoot at me. You could see the targets for the heads. So the chicken head is targeting me right now. It shoots a fireball, it hits me, it misses, whatever, that doesn't matter. It also shoots on its own as Hundun instructs it to. But if I hit the snakehead, and let me get this out of the way, and then go down here and get it to hit the snakehead, what it's going to do is it's going to switch targets to whoever damaged the snakehead. And now it's hard to see this, but you can see the word target on the chicken head. It is targeting itself. That is why this glitch happens. It used to be in a prior version of the game that the heads were not able to target themselves, but ever since that update came in, I think it was 1.27 I want to say, but I'm not sure, or maybe it was 1.25. But in either case, the heads could target themselves, and if I actually go over here and look at the chicken head's targeted player UID, it doesn't have to be a player. It's the same entity ID as the head, 1101 or 11101. Okay, it was the syncing update. All right, it was 1.26. 1.25 was before that. So this is a recent bug. But now that it's targeting itself, what it's going to do is it's going to shoot a fireball at itself. You can't hit yourself with a fireball that you own in this game. So it's not going to hit itself, but the question is, what direction is that fireball going to go? And the answer is 0 degrees, or 0 radians, which in this game engine is straight right. And that is why it's going to hit the snakehead. It's not aiming at the snakehead. They don't actually fight each other. There it goes, directly to the right, because that's the fallback mechanic for the chicken head targeting the point that is exactly where it is located. Because otherwise you can't create a vector from point A to point B if they're on top of each other. That's invalid. So the fallback scenario is just a 0 degree angle. And it's going to hit the snakehead, and it's going to retaliate again and hit itself. And hit the snakehead over and over and over again. It's not shooting at me. Like, I can go down here. It's shooting at the snakehead. That is the bug that they introduced. Now what's going to happen here, eventually, this is actually going to break the cycle if the snakehead doesn't die first, which it's not going to because I gave it a ton of health. So if you look at fireball timer down here where my cursor is, that should be getting captured. Yeah, there it is. That is Hundun's like independent AI instructing the heads to shoot at the nearest target, basically the Hundun target. You can see down here I have another targeting indicator. This is Hundun's target, and the Hundun entity, which is this giant egg, is going to instruct the heads to shoot at things. If the heads are already shooting, they ignore the instruction. Otherwise, he will alternate between the left and the right head, telling it to shoot at the player that he's targeting. So what is eventually going to happen here is when this timer hits 0, if the chicken head isn't doing anything, it's going to be switched to me, depending on which head he tells to shoot next. So he just instructed the snake head to target. You can see the snake head open its mouth. So the next head that he's going to tell to shoot is going to be the bird head. So if we wait a second here, the snakehead might get the shot off before it gets hit. There it goes. So when this hits 0, and I'll adjust it to make sure that the window is good, he'll shoot at me. So let's see. It should shoot the fireball. And now in 16 frames, the chicken head is going to target me instead. Or it should. Oh, no, it didn't. The fireball actually hit the snakehead too early, so let's wait another cycle. Again, if the head is attacking when the timer hits 0, it will ignore the instructions. Let's see if it'll happen this time. I'm just saying this is why it can sometimes break. So if you were going to build a run category around doing this, you gotta consider that. Let me manually set this so that it doesn't shoot while it's already attacking. Yeah, entity. So for Hundun, I'm going to set that timer to be a little bit higher. Probably just like 30 frames should do it. There are 60 frames in a second in this game. Alright, let's see. I'll actually set it to 1 now. Alright, so the chicken head has just been instructed to switch targets. I know it's a little hard to see with all the indicators, so let me actually turn that shit off. Right. There we go. In the next frame. There we go. So it's a little hard to see it because of the collaring here, but you can see the chicken head targeted me. That right there will break the cycle because it ignored the snakehead retaliation because Hundun had already told it to attack something and it decided to shoot at me, and now this cycle is broken. Now if you're wondering what happens if you do this the other way around, the answer is not very interesting. Let me move this over to the side. So remember what I said about where they shoot when they target themselves. The snakehead's going to accidentally hit the chicken head. It's going to target itself, as you can see there. Let me get some tiles out of the way. But it's going to shoot straight to the right, just like the chicken head did, except there's nothing over there. That is why you can only do it by getting the chicken to kill the snakehead and not the other way around. So if you were thinking of doing like a weird inverse floor strats where you stay on the right side to get the heads to kill each other, it has to be the right side. Because the snakehead will not hit the chicken and will not continue the feedback loop. So that's that bug. So if you just want to see me like actually play the game at normal speed now so you can see what that looks like, I'll do that in a second here. So again, the snakehead shooting the chicken doesn't do anything interesting. If you watch a modern like chain low run where they do egg strats, which they usually don't, but if you watch like a recent egg strats run, you'll notice the snakehead doing this between each cycle, and that's why it happens. But if I get the chicken head to shoot the snake by doing this or just letting it accidentally hit it, you get that cycle. So there you go. There's some funny Hundun AI for you. Any questions about that before I move on to the next thing? Just soak in the glory of it all. There we go. And by the way, that was the cycle breaking because of the fireball timer. So it will not last forever. But the chicken only has to hit the snake head, I think 13 times. I think its fire goes out before it gets hit again, so it gets more fire damage or something like that. I think it's only 13 hits. So generally speaking, you'll get a kill or very close to one. Or it should be 15. The snake head has 30 health. The chicken has 25. Don't ask me why. Yeah, 15 hits. I corrected myself. Chat delay. I'm waiting if anyone else has any questions. How does fire damage even work? Dude, I made Spelunky Nautica and had to re-implement fire damage for random objects, and even I still don't know how it works. I don't know. I really don't have anything. I feel like it's very inconsistent, like what mechanics work. Does he get put out, or does he just take more? For Spark Ball, you take 3. That's the thing. I think if you're on fire and then you get hit by a Spark Ball again, you only take the impact damage from the Spark Trap. But the fire damage is the thing that stuns you, because if a Rock Dog gets hit by a Spark Trap, the Rock Dog gets set on fire, I think, and gets booped in the air, but it doesn't take the fire damage and doesn't get stunned. It only takes 1 damage from Spark Traps for some reason. It's incredibly bizarre. Hundun takes 4 from being hit twice. That might be the case, and it might be a matter of the spacing. We can actually watch the health of the 2 heads just to see how that interaction works. So if I go back to this and attach these, we can monitor the health of each head. So let's go to the Finder. Snake head. There we go. It has it selected. We can detach that as well. I'm starting to use the Finder more. Okay, so you can see what health they have. So let's see what happens when they get into the chain fireball thing again. So I'm going to move this back over here. And the 2 values you want to look at, chat, are this one over here on the left and then this health value here. So if I stomp the head, the snake head takes a point of damage, and then the fireball hits it. It goes from 105 to 103. Gets hit again. It still took 2 damage. This is why I don't entirely understand how this works. I think it's still on fire, but it still takes the damage anyway, so it's not clear to me how this works. It's also worth noting that if a player gets hit by a fireball while wet, like with water from the level, you take 0 damage, but you still get stunned. So this is why I don't know how to answer the question of like how that works, because I just don't know. On fire timer. Alright. Let's see, this is gonna be entity. No, movable probably has this flag. One of these days I'll guess one of these right. Light on fire. No, that's not what I want. Where is it? There's wet effect timer. It doesn't matter. I wonder if there's an attachment that you have to put. There's an is on fire flag. Why? How do you check whether something's on fire and for how long? I hope it's not a logical entity. There's an on fire effect, but I don't think that's the logical entity that causes that to happen. And we'll move on if I can't find this. On fire effect timer, of course. How stupid of me. Naming things is hard. If you ever become a software developer, just remember you're not going to be able to name your kids or anything. It's just you automatically lose the ability to name things if you become a software developer. So I'm not even mad at the tool devs for doing this. Like, this is not what Spelunky devs called it. We have no idea what they called this. But the tool devs for Overlunky had to pick a name, and that was the name they went with. Maybe it is the effect. I'm not sure. Should there be a space between on and fire? Maybe. I don't know. Alright, anyways. So let's see. What I was going to check was... Yeah, it's still on fire. That's what I was checking. So it's going to get hit by the fireball next frame. It's still on fire. It still takes 2 damage. So I don't understand that. Maybe it has something to do with how long they've been on fire, but like... Figuring out fire mechanics would just be an entire stream in and of itself. Now, they don't get broken because the floor tile probably counts as a floor. I think they just need support underneath them. We can look into that in a second, actually. I wonder if I can reproduce that. I could probably make some jank happen. They used to. Either that or it's a black market thing specifically. But yeah, I don't know about the fire damage. I'm gonna postpone that question for maybe another day because it's just absurd how inconsistent fire mechanics are in this game. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. Sometimes back items get blown up by fire, sometimes they don't. You have no idea. It's like you'd write a full essay like just to describe how the fire mechanics work in this game, because I think a different person programs like every fire entity.